2025 is just around the corner and you want to learn a gig app. Come with me, someone who has over 3,000 deliveries on the Walmart Spark app, and I'll teach you everything I know. Let's begin. The main point of this video is to get the basic essentials of how to use the app and then completing the first couple orders like shoppers and curbside orders. But let's start with the home screen real quick. So as you can see here, we got the map. First thing I want to talk about is this red circle around the Walmart. That means that currently this Walmart is busy. We also have gray and yellow. Gray is just like no color. Yellow means that it's steady, and then gray means that there is not a lot of orders happening right now. The next thing I want to bring up is the change zone buttons. If you click this button right here, you will see your surrounding zones. Mine only has 3, but that's because the nearest zone is like 30 minutes to an hour away. If you're in a bigger city, you'll probably see like 10 plus zones, but you can change your zone as many times as you want at any point of the day. The last thing I want to talk about is the Spark Now button. If you click this, the Spark Now button allows you to do 4 increment blocks. As you can see here, I was at 1:30, and then of course I had 5:30 was the last pick. You can keep adding on to this time as time passes. Just make sure that by the end of your 4 hours, if you want to continue, to make sure you increment your time, because otherwise it will turn off. The next thing I want to talk about is metrics. Metrics used to be based off the last 50 orders, but it is now based off the last 100 orders. Also, they changed completion rate. It used to be called drop rate. Now it's just 100% going down instead of 0% going up. So they mean the same thing. Next thing I want to talk about is AR does not affect your order availability. That's what this star means. If you scroll down on this page that you see here, that's exactly what that star is going to tell you about. As you can see, I'm in the orange for acceptance rate. You can never be in the red, which would cause deactivation. They can't deactivate you for having your acceptance rate be 0, even if you wanted to. Go ahead and pause the video here if you guys want to check out the tiers, and we'll move on next. The next thing I want to talk about is the incentive program. If you go ahead and click on the More button in your Walmart Spark app, you should see incentive program. If you click on that, you will see all your current incentives. And then if you click on one of the incentives, you should see something like this that will tell you the duration, eligible zones, store number, accept time, and specific type of orders. Let's go over this one just so you guys know what I'm talking about. So the current duration is 12/14. So you got 1 day to do it. Eligible zone is the Walmart Iron Range, Minnesota. Store number is one specific store number, so it's 2937. Offer accept time is from 12 p.m. to 11 p.m. and it's only good for curbside orders. So when you're checking incentives, make sure you check all these boxes, because, you know, if you think, oh, I can do shoppers, well, no, you can't. If you think you can do it at 10 a.m., you're not going to be able to do that either. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at incentives, that you actually check the description, because you might forget that you can't actually get the incentive if you're doing a specific order. The next thing I want to go over briefly is notification types. There is one new offer, first come, first serve, extra earnings available. First come, first serve and extra earnings available are basically the same thing. It's an order that anyone can see. However, first come, first serve means it has gone out as round robins and no one has accepted it and is now available for anyone to pick out. Extra earnings means that Walmart has added on extra earnings to it to incentivize people to take the order. Currently, shoppers go up $7 from what I can see lately, and $8 for curbsides. Also, for one new offer, you have 1 minute to accept the offer. Unless it's a Sam's Club, I believe they give you 2 minutes on that. They also added, in a recent update, they added this little jingle that you can listen to for one new offer. Listen to it again. All right, let's move on. The next thing I want to talk about is order type. We got curbsides, shoppers, .coms, and returns. I don't have a picture of a return here because it rarely happens in my zone, and I don't ever do returns because returns are pretty awful. .coms happen every single day. However, I don't really take these, but this is what a .com looks like, this big, huge map. It's basically like delivering Amazon packages pretty much, but for the mileage that you have to do and the amount of time it takes you, I just don't personally do them, but I will talk about curbsides and shoppers because I do those on a daily basis. We got 3 drops here. That's the most amount they can send you on a curbside order. Generally, you'd be able to see the person's address and name here, but for privacy reasons, obviously, I got rid of their names. But you can see the item amount here. If you go ahead and click on this, you can actually see what's inside their order as well. This tells you it's got a 40-50 pound item, what kind of apartment or a house it is. This one's going to require customer verification, which means it could either be an ID check if they had medicine, or it could be a customer signature / passcode. Depending on what Walmart zone you are in, customer verification still might be signatures for in person, but in my zone, it is now 4-digit passcode no matter what. So I just put it out there as customer signature because I know some zones, from what I've heard, it is still customer signatures instead of the passcode. So next up, we got a shopper here. Here is the card of what a shopper looked like. It actually says shopping on it. You can get a batch shopping order. This one's just one. I do have a whole video about batch shopping orders. If you guys want to take a look at it, I'll put it up in the card somewhere for you. But it tells you how many items you are shopping for. This is unique items. So there's going to be 12 different unique items, but one of them is going to have a quantity of 2 because it's got 13. It's the same thing for this. This is unique and this is total. So this person ordered 1 item, but it's 4 quantity. So that's the difference there. And then of course, how long it thinks it's going to take for your estimated shopping time, how many miles, of course, both these or all these are going to tell you, and then how much time it thinks it's going to take you. So let's move on. All right, let's talk about how to do a curbside pickup. I made this video on my phone to show you guys, so let's begin. So you're going to go ahead and click start trip. Once you've arrived at your Walmart, you're going to go ahead and confirm arrival. Once you do that, go ahead and get into one of the Walmart pickup area spots, and then you're going to go ahead and select your spot. Once you have done that, you're going to go ahead and wait for a Walmart associate to come out to you, and you're going to give them this 4-digit code. Some Walmarts allow you to help load your car, and some Walmarts don't, so just kind of see how your Walmart is. If you can help, I suggest helping, just because personally I do like filling my back seat with 2 orders just because I have bins. That way I know what 2 orders are back there, and then the main associate can figure out how to fill my trunk, and it generally works pretty smoothly. But you know, if your Walmart doesn't allow you to load up, then you're just gonna have to deal with that. But after you go ahead and do that, you'll be prompted to scan. You're gonna have to scan a label that looks exactly like this. Remember to hold on to that label because you're gonna need that label to scan at the drop off as well. So make sure you go ahead and scan the order, and once you're done, you're gonna go ahead and swipe done scanning there, and then you're off to go ahead and get the drop off. So let's move on to that. All right, next thing we're gonna talk about is curbsides and dropping them off. So let's begin. So as you can see here, this is your instructions on how to get there. You got the person's name and address right here. You can go ahead and contact them by phone or by text message and then navigate. First time you're gonna do this, it's gonna ask you to pick your favorite navigation app. Go ahead and do that now. First thing you're gonna have to do is once again scan that label that you got from the pickup. So make sure you go ahead and scan that label. After you do that, you're gonna go ahead and confirm the house number, confirm the drop off notes that person left you. Now this is where things will be different. You got contactless delivery, in-person delivery, and ID verification. I did get contactless delivery and in-person delivery, but I did not get an ID verification. If you do end up with an ID verification, it will make it so that you have to scan or input someone's license. So please make sure that someone has a valid ID, because if they don't, you're going to have to return the items. Most of the time it's for medicine. My Walmart doesn't sell alcohol, but I know some Walmarts do, so you're gonna have to look out for that. I know paint's also a big one too, so just make sure you're looking for that. If it's contactless delivery, you're going to be prompted to pick a drop-off location, so you're gonna go ahead and do that now, like this picture. And then once you've done that, it's gonna ask for proof of delivery, so you're gonna go ahead and take your phone and take a picture of where you dropped it off. Make sure you're not blocking anyone's doors though, in case it swings outward. Just make sure of that. Once you're done, you're gonna go ahead and swipe complete, and if you have any more deliveries to go to, it's just gonna prompt you to keep going. So this next one, I got the in-person delivery, which I didn't even realize at the top of the screen it actually says that. I just assumed that this is what was overtaking customer signatures, but apparently right at the top it does say in-person delivery, so I thought that was cool while I was editing this. Now you're gonna go ahead and get a customer code here. If they don't know what you're talking about, it should be in an email or a text message that they got, so just keep that in mind if they don't know what you're talking about. Otherwise, it's the same process. You're just gonna go ahead and input their passcode. Once you've done that, there's no need to take a photo, so it's basically like getting a customer signature, and then you're good to go after you've handed off the delivery. So that's basically how to do curbsides. Once you're finished, you will be allowed to accept orders again. Let's move on to shoppers next. Next, let's talk about shoppers. You go ahead and start trip and confirm arrival the same, but then you get this preview list that you can go down and you will see the items and what categories they need to go. Go ahead and map out your route. You got 2 choices here. You can either take the Walmart route that Walmart has designed for you. I decided to start using the Walmart route, even though I know sometimes I can be a little faster. So if you know a faster way through your Walmart to get this order done faster, I'd highly recommend doing that. But let's get started on how to shop and order. The main thing to pay attention to each item is the aisle, the section, the modular, how many this person is getting, and what the UPC is. So let's get started on a little in depth on that. So let's go ahead and talk about aisles and sections first. Aisles are pretty straightforward, but let's talk about sections. Sections are 4-foot areas that can either be on the top of the shelf or at the very bottom of the shelf. This is at the bottom of the shelf, and this is the top of the shelf. This is the zoomed out picture of the top shelf here. So let's go over modular and UPC. Walmart just came out recently, a couple months ago, with this new tag that has a QR code on it, and then this is what their original tag looks like. Some of you might have this tag, some of you might have the old tag, but I'm going to go over both of them just to be safe. So we have modular 68 here at the top. Now this is the modular here in the picture of the tag here. And then of course this is the modular here as well in the old tag. So between the two, the modular did not change at all of where the spacing is, but this is the correct item and this is not the correct item. The last thing to bring up is the UPC. As you can see here, here is the UPC. If you look at the last four digits, you have 0549. Well, correlates to the last four right here, which is 0549. This is on the new tag. If you have the old tag, the last four digits are right here. As you can see here, this is not the right item. Also, if you flip the barcode and you can see it on the item, you will see that it is the last four digits on that item as well. So just another helpful tip on how to get through the item you're looking for. The next thing I want to go over real briefly is special aisles. Have you ever seen these weird labels when you're doing a Walmart Park shopping order? Well, these all correlate to the features in the middle aisles between the walkways and such. So let's go over them. We got FT, which means the front of the store, GR, which means the grocery side of the store, MD, which means middle, BK means back, so generally towards electronics area, toys, and then GM, general merchandise, which is generally like automotive, home decor, etc. So if you're ever looking at these aisles, just know that these are what the aisles mean. If you need to take a pause and go ahead and briefly read over them again, go ahead and do so now. Another thing to briefly mention is special sections. You got 100 and 200. Now 100 and 200 just means the end caps of the aisles. So it's kind of like another weird one. If you ever see 100 and 200, it just means the end caps of the aisles. So make sure you keep that in mind as well. A couple other quick things to bring up about shops. You have substitutions, which can have four different things. You can have a customer substitution, a Walmart suggested substitution, a pick your own substitution, or no substitution at all. If you have no substitution, just go straight on to your next order. You can pick a substitution if you want. Personally, I never want to do that because I don't generally know a good substitution unless it's something very obvious. Then I'll go ahead and do that. Customer substitution means that the customer actually picked that. And of course, you have Walmart substitution, which could be really weird. So if it's a really weird substitution, obviously don't pick that. Produce weight. If you ever get an item that needs to be weighed, you should probably see one of these digital produce scales. If you guys don't have it yet, I'm kind of surprised because most Walmarts have it now, but it should give you a weigh button option. If you need to not use the produce scale, you can always just put in the information because that's what it will do instead. But if you do have these scales, you'll have the QR code after you put something on here and you just scan this QR code and it'll put in the weight. Make sure you click yes if it asks you if you picked the correct amount, as long as you picked the correct amount. If you click no though, it's going to take into account that weight you already have. So don't re-put that amount you put back on there because then it's going to put extra weight that you don't actually have on there. The last thing I want to talk about is check your dates. You have no idea how many Spark drivers or even just regular people just don't check dates and just pick things up and just walk away with it. There's been plenty of times where I've seen things very close to expiration or even expired. Walmart's not perfect. They can't always be perfect. So make sure you're checking those dates and getting those good dates for our customers. So now that you've scanned your last item, this is going to go ahead and bring you into this review screen. If you have any substitutions that the customer has not accepted or rejected, it's going to show up here. Otherwise, you can click on the review button. If you did have substitutions, the person has either accepted or rejected it. After you hit the review complete, if someone has rejected the order, it will tell you to remove said items. Otherwise, it will just bring you to your next screen. You'll want to get to this screen, which says scan the QR code. And then once you've scanned that QR code, you're going to have two things possibly happen to you. You're either going to get a good to go or you're going to get a random cart check. Now, some Walmarts I have heard that if you get a good to go, you're still going to be doing a random cart check. They're going to want to check your exit pass where you just click this view order summary button. They'll check your items just to make sure you're not stealing. If that happens, you're just going to have to unfortunately let Walmart do their thing because it's a Walmart to Walmart basis. But my Walmart doesn't do that when it's good to go. They just let me do the thing. If you do get a random cart check, then you have to call over a Walmart associate. They have to scan up to 3 items, which it generally is 3 items. And then after that's done, then you're good to go and you can start bagging. After you've bagged everything up, you'll, like I said, get this exit pass. I've never actually ran into a Walmart greeter that actually looks at this Walmart pass and scans the barcode that generally is going on. They'll just generally check my items if, the scanner goes off as I walk out the door just to make sure, obviously, I'm not stealing. But that's pretty much it. The only key difference between dropping off curbsides and shoppers is that curbsides, you got to scan that label. Shoppers, you just have to hit the confirm button saying that you have the order. If you do end up doing a batch shopping order, it will have you scan an item to make sure you have the correct order in your hand. And it's going to make you scan an item at both drop-offs. I'm not 100% sure why, because it's like if you don't drop off the correct item with the correct order, then it's not like you can go back. I mean, you can, can if you want to, but by that point, I'm sure the person's already reported to Walmart that they're missing an item, but it will make you scan at 2 items. So there you guys have it. I hope you guys found this helpful. If you did, please go ahead and like and subscribe. That would really help me out a lot. 2025 is just around the corner, and it's a great time to try out a new app. And as always, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your night. Stay safe, stay hungry, and I will see you guys in the next one.